episode 14. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Element Podcast, where we talk crafting, where we talk upcycling, where we talk reworking, where we talk quilting. I've been quilting lately, hunties. So I've been feeling very self-conscious about my look today. So don't hate me. Don't hate it. Don't hate it. Just try to embrace it. I'm trying to send good energy, good auras to my inner self saying, you're good enough, you're smart enough, and people like you. So thanks, Stuart Smalley from the 90s. All right, so I want to jump right in and talk about some of the upcoming projects that I have that I'm going to be releasing videos for over the next 2 weeks. I have been batching, and by batching, I mean I've been videoing my tutorials for the past 2 weeks, really. I'm actually very stressed out about it. The crochet top that I'm working on is taking longer than I thought it would, like the pattern, the videoing, and the macrame pants that someone had asked that I start showing how to do them again, because I don't know if you remember, I got very bored with it. It's very labor ridden, so I turned it into a cape instead. But now I really just want to give people what they want. If someone's posting a question on my any of my videos where they really want to know how to do something, then I'm going to make the effort to try to do that within all reason. Sometimes I don't feel like doing certain things. Sometimes they're not really good use of my time. But so let me tackle this again. I do still have this item. It's been abandoned. I have a lot of abandoned WIPS, works in progress. So I have started working on that. So right now I'm going to show you cut in and show you a clip from what I was mentioning and talking about like a week ago. So right now I'm going to just cut in and shoot to that video where I talk about working on the macrame pants and why I abandoned it. But for right now, here is what they're looking like right now. I need my niece, my model, to put them on so that I can finish them up so that I can show you film part 3. So I already have part 2 done, which I'm going to release in a couple of days. I think someone was in the comments on the macrame pants in progress video said pronto. I think that as soon as possible. I didn't translate it, but it sounded like they're like, please put this up. And that's been 2 weeks ago. So I'm sorry. I kind of like just shut down on the pants and had like a breakdown over trying to show you all something that I told you was coming. But a lot of stuff is free. I am not monetized yet, so I've done so many videos. So right now I'm really just trying to crush it. I'm going to be pumping out a video every 2 days. It'll be crochet. It'll possibly be quilting. I have a quilt project I'm going to show you. It'll be macrame. Well, there's no knitting in the works, but I have some other a couple big craft projects that I'm going to have coming at you. But for now, I'm going to cut away and show you what I already recorded talking about what's going on with the macrame pants. So see you in a moment. All right, so I'm going to be revisiting the pants that I had initially started working on and then I made into a cape. Well, because the first part was intentionally supposed to be pants and I turned it into cape because I got so bored and tired of working on it, I have moved it onto my doll, and I'm going to show you how to turn the cape into the pants that I originally was working on, the mannequin dress form. So I tied this up here where the cape comes down in the front. I am going to get a piece of black and weave it through these so they can basically corset tie, and then we're going to continue the pants on down to go under into the crotch area. These two sides, if you see this, like it's hanging where your legs are, I'm going to do work all the way around here. Now I'm going to leave a space because I don't have a whole lot of this particular yarn left. I'll show you, it's going to be kind of see-through through here, but we're going to cuff it. So they're probably going to be short pants, honestly. But let me turn this. This doesn't pivot like my other form does, but I like to work on it better because it's pretty stable. But in the back here, you see the work. I'm going to continue the work down to cover, you know, the bum, the butt, booty, whatever. I don't really like the term booty. Anyhow, we're going to go under here, and it's going to meet underneath. I've already got this tied together so I can see where the link is going to happen and how much on each side I'm going to need. It's about 5-6 square knots on either side that I'm going to be taking from. And then once I have this, I have to do this part and the front crotch part first, because from there I'm going to have to add a couple of pieces onto the inside of the leg, the inner thigh, in order to connect to make the pants close up. Okay, so that's how it's going to be done. But they're kind of like hip hugger. All right, so let me take a look at my notes here. Okay, so let's talk about the color purple top that I've been working on. You'll see in one of the corners part of the video tutorial that's coming up. I don't even know if the YouTube world, crochet world, needs this tutorial, but I am going to show it because I've already filmed it. So I've been doing this stitch, like the shell stitch. It may be called the arcade stitch. And I'm not reinventing the wheel here. There's lots of people that have videos of this particular stitch. This is my own. I did not learn this from someone else. I kind of just figured it out, even though I've seen that, I think it was We Are Knitters or Wool in the Gang had an arcade stitch tutorial. I don't know. But I'm going to show you how to make the top. Over here, let me go over to this lady over here. So I have it on the dress form because it's going to be for me. I have the back done already. And so now I'm just working on the front. And then I don't know what I'm going to do with the sleeves, but I maybe make them kind of frilly or not. I don't know. So it's almost done, and I am going to release that pattern soon as well. I've enjoyed doing it. This front post FP DC and back post DC for all you crocheters out there. I know I have a lot of macrame followers that follow me, but so that's in the works. That'll be released soon. You've all seen this. So you would have seen video from the color purple top is coming. And it's named after one of my favorite movies, The Color Purple. Such a sad movie if you've never seen it. It's got Oprah in it. It has early Whoopi Goldberg. And she gets an Oscar for that role. And I believe Oprah got an Oscar for that role. But it's very, very sad, but also very heartwarming at the end. So let's give a shout out to my Black culture and Black movies. So one thing that I wanted to mention is that I am going to be dropping a video about mathing out your work soon. I know that there are probably other macrame artists that have released this. There's a blog that talks about this. I did not read it because I'm always really nervous about plagiarizing other people. You can be inspired by other people, but I want to make sure that I kind of am coming to my own thoughts. But I mean, there's nothing new under the sun, as the saying goes. So I don't know if I'm being that original with the math of how to figure out how much rope you're going to need, but it's going to go into my whole course that I'm creating. And that course is going to have 3 items that you won't be able to get on the YouTube. You'll have to pay for them. So you have to pay for them, but I'm going to be doing a quick tutorial on the different rope sizes and basically how to figure out how much you will need for each project that you're going to do. It's like, say you have 5 mm rope. We call it 1/4 of an inch here in a lot of places where you'll purchase it in the United States. So you'll take 5 mm times, say you have a really open weave. So this is like a lot of closed weave working, and this is a lot of open. So you'll have to figure out how much of your project is a lot of this compact, tightly woven macrame knotting, and then how much of the project is like really open, and then you times it by the rope. And you also have to do some math where you do like how long you need it to be. So I'd need to measure from the top here to here of someone or yourself. That would be like the height, and then you need to know the width of how far you need it to go around. And so there's 2 different components to the math of it. And it was strangely or starkly, it's not the word I'm looking for. It was amazingly easier than I thought it would be. I wish I'd been using the math the whole time, but I'm so scattered. But so I want to give you all the tools to be able to do that. If you haven't seen that anywhere else, or if you rather learn it from me, or for whatever reason, I want to talk about the math, and I'll be adding the actual math to each of my upcoming products. upcoming new macrame projects starting in June. I'm not going to go back and do it for the pants because the pants thing has been kind of a fluke and a bust as far as how much rope I've needed. Luckily, it was only really one skein of the Bernay. This Bernay soft, oh my goodness. It sounded like I keep thinking that that's an earthquake. They're building a new high school and they're having to bomb the ground, like explode the ground so that they can build. And it scares me sometimes because you can feel it. Anyhow, so that's what's going on with that. Now, I wanted to discuss, I don't know if you can see this lady. Let me swivel again. I have a project in the works here, and in a minute, I'm going to cut away to my working on it and what it was at first and now what it's becoming. I've been just doing some designing and trying to figure out what I want to do. I'm trying to really think outside the box. So sometimes I just work on designing new items, obviously. And I'm better at doing it if I do it on the form as opposed to writing it down, although I've gotten pretty good at sketching recently. But this is something that's been in my mind, which if you remember from my previous podcast, is kind of a take on this. I was supposed to be making this, okay, with the sides like a top that goes down. But I got so distracted and I started doing something completely different, which it's kind of becoming something special all of its own. And this is just the prototype. So let me turn around. What I'm loving about this is this whole feature where it kind of flows downwards like that and gives a nice shaping in the butt area. I think that's super cute, super sexy. So I'm going to continue on with this and see where this takes me. And I'm going to get some really slinky rope and make an item that I'm going to release. And it may be a paid for pattern. I'll let you know. I think this one will be a good one for me to charge for. So that's what's in the works. I'm going to be doing the tutorial for this top this weekend. So I'll release it next week. I'm going to use it, the yellow wool in the gang that I used last time, the tinsel yarn, because I have like a skein of it left. And I think a skein will be just enough to show you how to make this. I've got it kind of all over the place now. It's not set up the way it's supposed to, but I'll show you how to make where it looks good. I've been messing with it a little bit. So, all right. So I wish I could figure out, I may be able to go back through my online carts and see past orders of what kind of t-shirt yarn this is. It is very, very slinky, has a lot of movement, and a lot of t-shirt yarns don't have this feel. It's very, very, very soft. It's not like hard, like I made a green top, which you all seen, the green mermaid style top. The t-shirt yarn that I use for that is very rigid, but this is so soft and slinky, and it has a real nice feel on the body. So I wish I could figure out what maker or what company I got this particular yarn from. It may be Fox Yarn, but I don't think so because their yarn is pretty inconsistent. So I need to find this so I can make some more items with it. I'm going to be upgrading and using a lot more premium yarns going forward because I think that if you look at this, you're like, oh, that was kind of dull, maybe. But like if it's in a really slinky yarn, like the Macrame New Year's Eve party top that I made at Shakina model, it'll look way more dazzling. Everything looks more dazzling with premium yarn. So here, this little slinky. But I need it to be big. This is like 2 mm or yeah, that's about 2 mm. I don't want it to be the little tiny because I hate working with the little tiny. I hate it. I don't have the patience for it. So I'm going to get some 5 mm and go ahead and figure this out. And then I'm going to figure out where it's going to be paid content or not. So, but I know that it's going to be fabulous. I'm going to have a top component to it as well. So stay tuned. I have 10 million ideas and an ADHD mind, so things don't get done in order at times, and there can be a lull into when I get things done and when I release them. All right, so I'm back. I've been doing some quilting. I'm going to make me a dress or a coat. I don't know, but I've been taking some scrap pieces, which you may recognize the one piece of scrap fabric from some curtains that I made a woven piece in that Kina modeled was like an upcycle, but I've taken some cut off denim from a couple of upcycled skirts that I've recently put up for sale on my Black and Bitchin' Depop, but been working on doing some quilting. I didn't realize how much I would start loving this. This may turn into a quilting channel, y'all. I'm just warning you, but I really enjoyed the sewing and turning, and I'll show you some video in the corners as I'm talking right now, but I really enjoyed making these little squares. Now, let's figure out how I put them together, because one thing that I realize about sewing and quilting is you really, really need to be very precise, and I struggle with that. The macrame, I just kind of get in a zone, but I don't know, I guess it's the same. I think part of my problem why I'm not more successful is because of, like I said, I'm like, oh, there's a shiny object over. I get very distracted, and I like to do so many things that it's hard for me to just stick with one project and finish it out. But when I have a goal in mind, like if I need to release something to you all that I've already started working on, I will finish it most of the time. Don't bring up the macrame crisscross top that still I haven't done the back to, which I am going to revisit that and finish it, because I believe in the comments on that top, a couple of people were like, where's the back? And I'm like, well, I mean, I can't keep using menopause symptoms as an excuse because I haven't had those in a while, but I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So May is going to be Mandala Mania up in this podcast, okay? To use a little local color vernacular. I have gone completely mandala / dreamcatcher crazy. I made this one while watching Doctor Who, which I've been obsessed with lately. Made this one just on a whim. I was just bored and I didn't want to keep working on the color purple top because I have to write down the pattern as I go. But I whipped this up real quick. I could make mandalas all day. I can make a different mandala for days on end. That's just how simple it is to me. So we're going to go through Mandala Mania. This is one of my old macrame mandalas. You've probably seen something similar to it. I've had it hanging up forever. I may add a mirror to this. I don't know what I'm going to do with it because this wall over here has like a lot of macrame on it. And I feel like my tastes are changing a little bit and I just want to switch things out. So maybe I just need to be more seasonal with my decor in this room. So I'll leave it up like through summer because like all the pieces that are on the wall, which you've probably seen before, but I'll show you at the end, are all like off-white or white or have black in them. Maybe I'll just switch it out every season. But you'll see up in the corner the yellow mandala that I have hanging in my room with my hanging plants, which I like the way the yellow hits through the window when the sun sets. At a moment where I couldn't say sunsets. I'm like, where the sun sets. So that's many things that I'm working on. I dyed some purple rope today. I don't like dyeing things. I don't like that. I'll be very, very, very open about what I don't like to do. So there are things that I do not enjoy as far as crafting goes, but they're few and far between. There is a pattern or a top that I need to complete from an Etsy pattern that I purchased. This girl on Etsy, and I'll pop her name in here in a minute.
The shop is Crochet Crafts by Ava.
Like a crochet Etsy shop, and she has one pattern up. And because the picture is so well done and because the item is so cute, she has had so many sales on just this one very simple crochet top. And I've been thinking maybe I need to open my Etsy back up and put maybe 2 patterns up and leave it at that just for income. Because monetization apparently takes forever when you don't keep up with it. So I was thinking about maybe creating something pretty spectacular, either one macrame and one crochet, and then opening up my old Etsy shop, which I don't know that I will do it. I probably will just put it on my blog because there is a shopping component that I haven't used, because I find working on the blog and the behind the scenes IT stuff is very tedious and very cumbersome and very difficult. Like my mind doesn't work in that way, unfortunately. Otherwise, I would be way further along than I am now, but I try to be thankful for what I do have and where I am at currently. Anyhow, so I have a lot of videos that are going to drop soon, and I'll try to make sure that I have everything like the languages set up in advance, because I know that's frustrating for people who don't speak English. I'm sorry, sometimes I just get so tired. I'll upload and do all the editing, which can take hours, honestly. And then I have to go onto a personal computer or a laptop to change so that all the languages show up. And that's another device that I have to get on to do that. So I make an excuse, but I do eventually get to it. And I'll try to make sure to get better and better at that, making sure that that happens instantaneously. The last 2 videos that I've posted, I've made sure to change languages almost immediately. So I know that I've kind of already met a goal with that. But come back in May for my next podcast, which will be next Friday. I'm going to be talking mandalas. I'm going to be talking dream catchers, and 2 of my most recent batched projects that I've been working on, you've already seen them. And if you have any questions or there's something you want me to talk about crochet-wise or macrame-wise, which macrame really is my first language as far as crafting goes, then just pop a question down there. I'm going to be running a contest soon. Once I'm getting really close to monetization, I'm going to run a contest, and there's going to be free t-shirts and free rope, premium rope. So make sure you check out the podcast, because some free stuff's coming, and good free stuff. But until then, thank you for watching the Yellow Moon Podcast. I hope you create something beautiful.